So today I would like to talk about a movie about a guy who's in San Francisco, down on his luck. He lost his job, he lost his girl, doesn't know what to do, ends up breaking into a place, finding something that makes him super powered, not knowing how to adjust to it, so you get like some comedic antics, but eventually he learns how to use it and you get some cool action scenes, and he has to go up against the person who actually technically owned the thing that he stole, who has another variation of it that he uses, and then he has to fight that guy in order to move on as his self in the superhero form and possibly get his girl back, but not exactly, but at least now she's in his life again. But enough about Ant-Man, let's talk about Venom.
We are Andre, and we are a black nerd, and we have a review for you. Black Nerd Reviews.
So yeah, I'm talking about Venom. I know I'm talking about this a little bit later than the movie actually came out. That's because I was at New York Comic-Con when the movie came out, so I was too busy hosting for Sci-Fi, talking to celebrities, name drop. But because I was doing that, I wasn't able to get to the movie theater, so I'm a little bit later on this. So that means that it's possible that no one will even see this video because it's too late.
It may get out there on the YouTube and not get the notifications that it needs. And it may not get the views that it needs. It may not even end up in your subscription feed. So it'd be a viewless, likeless, subscriptionless video just floating on YouTube like a turd in the wind.
But I gotta talk about this movie because let me tell you something. Venom, you can have your arguments about if it's a good superhero movie or not, but Venom is one of the funniest buddy comedies I've seen in a long time. And the comedy buddies are Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and Venom. They are a funny dynamic duo. I don't know if the tone of this movie was supposed to be dark because people were talking about Venom's supposed to be this whole dark, possibly even rated R movie, but it's PG-13. But man, Venom says things in this movie that just kept me laughing. He acts like that guy that does have some skill, but he just still talks a lot of game, more game than he needs to, just always talking at the mouth, and you're just like, just do your thing. So like, he could just bite your head off, but instead he's gotta be all like,
let me lick your face, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time.
And you're just like, okay, just get to it, man. You crazy. And the way that he communicates with Tom Hardy's character, Eddie Brock, it's pretty funny. Just the conversations between Eddie and Venom were cracking me up. It was basically like watching an episode of Perfect Strangers if Balky had somehow fused himself into Cousin Larry and was able to talk through him and turn into Balky at any moment.
We are Balky, Cousin Larry. Let's do the dance of joy.
Thank you if you get that reference. And Venom is supposed to be this whole like, oh, he's dark, oh, he's so brooding, but I'm like, nah, dude, this dude is like sweet and helpful. He helps Eddie Brock multiple times on trying to finish tasks that he can't do himself. He saves Eddie's life on multiple occasions. He even tries to help Eddie with his relationship. There's a scene where Eddie Brock is in the car with Michelle Williams' character, Annie, his girlfriend, but like, you know, of course stuff happens and she leaves him. But, you know, she's still around. But they're in the car talking, and Venom is literally in Eddie's head going,
you should apologize. We're about to go fight riot and we could die, so this seems like a good time to apologize because you may never have this chance again.
And he actually apologizes, and she doesn't like take him back, but you could tell that she liked the apology, and then Venom just goes, oh. Venom is super helpful for Eddie in this movie. I kind of want a parasite in me if it's nice enough to do these things for me that it did for Eddie. Hey, I'm Eddie Banks on Hyperforce. Eddie Banks, Eddie Brock is pretty close. So maybe I can be a Venom Power Ranger. Oh, dude, Hyper RPG, let's do it. I really feel like that they were trying to make a rated R dark Venom movie, and then for some reason, either because they wanted to be PG-13 so that more people would see it, or maybe they were nervous that the tone was not working for it, someone had to go back in and punch up Venom's dialogue. Because a lot of times when Venom is talking, he's talking inside of Eddie's head, so there's no mouth moving or anything, it's just voiceover. So I'm like, y'all went in here and cleaned some stuff up or changed some stuff around. And I gotta say, man, that worked for me. Now, is the movie an exceptional movie? No, but that dialogue alone, you could strip everything else away from this movie and just have me watching Eddie and Venom talk to each other for 90 minutes, and that would have been good. I can't even describe it, but it's just amazing to watch it because they're trying so hard. Like, the screen is dark. Venom is this gooey, black, hulking thing. You know, everything's just all serious about, I'm going to go to these other planets where there's millions of parasites, and we'll bring them over. We're going to make a new world with, what's his name, Riz Ahmed, what's his name? Carlton Drake. I just kept wanting to call him Elon Musk for some reason because he kept wanting to go to space. So the whole time I was just like, you're Elon Musk, right? Just every single occasion that they're trying to make this all serious. Venom talks in that voice and just says some weird stuff. This is hilarious. And I saw there some people were like, oh, critics don't seem to like this movie. I get it, man. They wouldn't. This ain't for them. But I find it shocking that people are like, what? Venom made $80 million and everyone went to go see it? This is crazy. Really? Did you think that just because this movie was in association with Marvel and not a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, and because critics said bad things about it, that for some reason people who like superhero and comic book movies were not going to go see it? You feel like this was the one time they're all going to go, you know, these critics, they're saying this thing, man, it's not part of the MCU, so I'm going to pass on this one superhero film and see A Star Is Born instead. What are you, stupid? There's a little bit of cheapness going on in here. I heard that the budget on this is like $100 million, so I guess they're going to make all their money back. But it's cool. It's in San Francisco by way of Georgia. Tom Hardy is Venom, but Venom technically only shows up a little bit. Like, I mean, he shows up throughout the course of the movie. He doesn't pull like a Power Ranger and just shows up in the last 15 minutes. So you see him throughout. But it just, you know, there's a lot of times where just like, hey, let's just keep showing Tom Hardy's face with goo coming out of him. And then there's like specific scenes where it's like, it's Venom time. At a point, he should have just been like a Power Ranger. Just been like, it's Venom time. And then he turns to Venom. And then that's when he gets all ridiculous with biting people's heads off and all this kind of stuff. People's heads get bit off in this movie. There's a lot of, it's that Wolverine thing, that PG-13 Wolverine thing, where it's like people's heads get bit off, people get stabbed in the chest, but no blood. No blood to be seen, not a single drop. The plot is generic, the characters are generic, it's the same old, same old. The thing about this movie is, while I was watching it, I kept thinking in my head, the way that makes me enjoy this more is to not think that it came out in 2018. Given some of the movies that we've gotten with superheroes in the past couple years, I can kind of see someone looking at Venom and going, all right, no, this is not what we do now. But you take Venom and you put him back in like 2004-ish time, this would have been like the hot shit. This movie is the great 2000s movie of 2018. Think about Spider-Man 3, right? That was where we had that Venom. Let's say you took Eddie Brock completely out of Spider-Man 3. And you still have the black goo, you still have the black Spider-Man suit, you still have Peter doing this and dancing or whatever. But let's say at the end of that movie, when he like hits the bell and the thing comes off of him in the church and it falls down, at that moment, instead of it falling on Topher Grace, what if it landed and the Life Foundation from this movie, from Venom, found it, took it back, right? So they have it, and then 2 years later, from Spider-Man 3, this movie comes out, connected to it, completely separate. It would have been perfect. Oh, and here's how you know it's a 90s, 2000s type of movie. Eminem does a song called Venom. And I just thought it was an Eminem rap that happens to be coincidentally named Venom. But no, he's dropping like Eddie Brock, Marvel. He's mentioning things about Venom in the rap. That is classic. I want the Venom soundtrack now. Michelle Williams is interesting in this movie. Like the first half of her, I wasn't really digging because it just felt like, I'm generic girlfriend. And I'm like, you're Michelle Williams. All right, you should not be playing generic girlfriend in a movie. But then the second half, I was all like, okay, now she's a little bit more fun. I like this. So I'm just saying, you know, go with that second half, Michelle Williams, if you do another one of these, you know, because, you know, she don't need to be generic girlfriend. What's next? Is Tom Hardy gonna sing musicals and open up a circus?
And every night we lie in bed, the Venom voices in our head. A parasite is keeping us awake. From now on, and we will come back home again. This is us.
And then Venom, of course, has to fight his doppelganger. Like, every one of these movies is like, you got a power, you gotta fight someone else with the same power. So we have Riot. Riot shows up really early in this movie and is like basically putting himself into different people to get to the Life Foundation where the other symbiotes are. And every person he gets into, I wish they would make like a short film of the time he's in that person. Because he could have just picked like dudes like Venom did and like some of the other symbiotes did. But nah, Riot goes inside like old and young Asian ladies and little girls. There's one point where this little girl's just walking around with the freaking riot eyes, and I'm just like, I need to see a film about that. But yeah, man, everyone gets a symbiote, man. Men, women, children. There's a point where Venom's a dog. There's a particular scene with Eddie Brock and Venom that's, you know, gonna probably be some deviant art later. It was a reference. You can talk about it all you want to, but that version of Venom that he was with at that time technically exists. I don't read the comics. I don't know. Oh, Andre, you're not a real nerd. You don't read Venom comics. Shut up. Really? Is this the movie you want to have that fight with, people? This ain't the one. Venom to me is like Super Mario Bros. Movie, man. It's like, I know it's not good, and I know it's not respectful to the source material at all, but god dang it, it's entertaining and enjoyable for its silliness. The more ridiculous and stupid it is, the more I kind of like it. When it was trying to like actually be like a superhero film, like when the third act, when they're like having the big battle, I was like, okay, this is okay. Now I'm bored. Can we go back to that wacky time? And then it comes back. There's a cameo in this movie. Guess who? And when that cameo shows up, Venom is just like,
who's that guy?
It makes me laugh.
We're gonna get your girlfriend back, Eddie. Don't worry about it.
God dang it. Venom is like a smart Catwoman, y'all. Oh man, it's just, this is why I'm so mad about this new version of movie reviewing on the internet and opinions on the internet about movies, where you feel like everything has to be orgasmically good or set it on fire bad. Don't set it on fire, because Venom hates fire. But like this idea that you only have two levels of excitement towards a movie, super positive or super negative. There are so many movies out there that are not technically good movies that you can just still enjoy knowing how not good it is. And and by not good, I mean like the cinematography or the nuance or its connection to the real world. And sometimes a movie just needs to be, this is ridiculous. Now, when it tries to trap you in there for like 2.5, 3 hours of ridiculous back to back, then it's a little crazy. But Venom is like, we're gonna go in here, we're gonna do some silly, we're gonna give you a couple action scenes, we're gonna bite a head off or two, and then you can go home. Oh, by the way, don't go home just yet, because we got an after credit scene where we're basically setting up a character that everyone knows will probably be in the sequel. Take a wild guess who character they set up. And also, you get to see a famous celebrity wearing a Ronald McDonald wig. So that's fun. And also, let's just randomly show an entire scene from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because we got that movie too. And with Venom, they basically set it up to where, like, we don't really mention Spider-Man, but we kind of left the door wide open if we want to connect them. It would not be that difficult. I don't know, man. Sony is having some crazy luck right now. I mean, they've got this whole deal with Marvel to have Spider-Man in the MCU, and now they're just somehow dumb lucking their way into making Spider-Man work for them again. So yeah, I don't know if you need to rush in the theater to see Venom, but definitely when you can like rent it or whatever, please do. Please do. And just pretend that it came out in 2004. Trust me, if you think it that way, you'll have more fun with it. I want to talk more about this whole like critics, fans, whatever, because I saw that a lot with Venom, but I feel like that's a video topic in itself. I might be coming back for that one. But yeah, man, I can't say that this is an amazing film, but I can say that I had a good time watching it. I laughed the most in my theater. I think a couple people were trying to be all like, I was like, blah, Venom's hilarious. That's all I got. I don't even know this was a review. I think this is just me out my thoughts about this movie. You know what? That was fun. That's why I stood up. I felt like that would help me get the Venom juices flowing. Those are my thoughts on Venom. What you think? Put in the comments if you want to. I don't care. Do what you want. Live your life. If you think I'm wrong, so you're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to read your comment and be like, oh, you didn't like the movie, so now I completely don't like it either. Whatever. I like to have fun. Sorry. Subscribe and click buttons and whatnot, bells and ring. And don't ring the bell too hard, though, because, too much sound makes Venom upset. Comic book knowledge.
We love you like a play cousin. We are Outie 5000.
I want to see this movie again. I can't believe it.